fantastic. As this episode opens up, the sad music and like the tight close-up shot of Batman and Robin, where Robin almost like rests his head on Batman's shoulder in comfort before they get unmasked, is hilarious. I just absolutely love that shot.
Burt Ward's eyes made me uncomfortable in that scene. Like, I couldn't tell what expression he was trying to make, but it wasn't the expression that Robin should be making.
No, it was touching. It was almost like well, we've met our end. They're about to take our masks off. Let's just hold each other and wait for the
cuddle,
end of
like
the world.
Aunt Harriet was afraid of.
That's right.
You notice things in the recap you didn't notice before, like when they make it still photographs as opposed to running film. You notice, for example, how completely dead-eyed and uninterested all the baseball players are at the jail. So Joker's like delighted to be pitching the ball, and there's a guy standing behind him who's just like, another day. Like, they're all clearly on death row and they don't really care anymore. I thought that was pretty magical.
The only instruction they got was don't look at the camera.
Yes, exactly. And they don't even, like, the recap shows Joker's gigantic spring that springs him out of the jail when he escapes in the episode before. And the guys who were in the baseball diamond just kind of look at it, but they look at it like, they look at it in the same way that you would look at someone flying overhead with a plane that, oh, maybe that's a plane that has a message on it. No, just a plane. Well, we're not doing anything. Let's watch it fly overhead. Like, it's not, they're not like, oh, a giant spring. They're more like, giant spring. I'll be dead Tuesday.
I feel like it would be difficult to be accurate with a giant spring.
In terms
it's not
of
like a catapult, right? Where you can like control your trajectory. Like,
I thought
you just got shot up straight in there.
I thought you meant on the part of the actors, like that they would know how to respond to a giant spring, which is also a valid point.
It's not something you see every day.
I do love though that when he runs off, he's trying to escape, but he runs off and climbs up on one of the catwalks over where the stage was. But Batman runs after him. I really thought Batman was going to hurl a bomb at him because that's just what Batman does, is throws explosives around. So I was kind of surprised when they made him stop and spend a good, solid 5 minutes tying a rope to the Batarang.
Yeah, but first he hops back and forth for a minute as he's running away, and then he's like, nah, I'll go after him, and then he like runs after him. But there's some hesitation there for sure.
Yeah, Batman was clearly done with this whole thing.
So then Batman chases after the Joker, who's up on the catwalk.
Batman skedaddles up a rope.
Oh, but first, the greatest part, where he says, I hope this doesn't depress you, and he cuts a rope and drops a sandbag, almost crushing Batman. That's when Batman then takes 5 minutes to tie a rope to a Batarang to throw it to go up there to catch him.
Batman and Joker's, like, the way that they go back and forth between being very, very antic and then very whatever. Like, they give you tonal whiplash with their whole being enemies, because one moment Batman's like, oh fine, I'll go after him, and then he's chasing after him, and then Joker's trying to drop a sandbag on him, but then Batman skedaddles up a rope, which is the only word I can find to describe what Batman does to a rope. And Joker's like, oh, I see you made it. And they just kind of stare at each other before Joker throws something else at him. Like, it's not like you're used to seeing Batman and Joker being like, I hate you. This is more like, are we done yet? Can we go?
Well, no. So they're on the catwalk and Batman pulls out bat cuffs. So he's got bat-shaped handcuffs that he's going to use to arrest the Joker, because he's a duly deputized member of the Gotham City Police Department.
And Joker even calls him Copper.
And then he uses his utility belt and throws confetti at him, he calls it, which is like that curling ribbon that you use to wrap Christmas presents or whatever, and wraps him up completely. Confetti. No, definitely wasn't confetti, but he calls it confetti, and then he wraps him up in ribbon. Very difficult to escape ribbon.
Ribbon that wrapped itself around him really quickly and tightly. Like, it was more impressive than Spider-Man's webs. And I'm basing that on my preferred Spider-Man, the 1970s version.
Of course. The one that had no powers whatsoever.
and also moved really, really slowly. So then
guess he
Robin
stuck-
skedaddles up a rope to the catwalk. Again, I can't think of a word to describe what they're doing to a rope outside of skedaddle.
That is skedaddling for sure.
That is the most uninspiring looking way to climb a rope I've ever seen.
So the Joker escapes. Robin thankfully helps untie this magic boa constrictor confetti ribbon. But heaven help us all if the Joker's utility belt proves to be Batman's ultimate undoing.
Will the Joker's utility belt prove their ultimate undoing?
Will the Joker's utility belt prove their ultimate undoing? Do you think the Joker's utility belt will prove their ultimate undoing?
Heaven help us all if it does.
Amen.